Have you ever felt like a response just comes out of nowhere and you're like, but why am I responding like this? This is so shocking. Well, thank you for joining me. And if this is your first time, well, welcome. My name is Katama and you're here with me on my channel, Finding Grace, where we talk about everything emotional healing and emotional health. Because once you have healed yourself on the inside, interacting with the rest of the world, your life gets better and it gets easier. So where do these almost unnatural responses come from? Like, why is it coming up now? Most of us think that we live in very isolated moments of time. So who I am today is the result of who I am today. But no, who we are today is a collection of our experiences over the course of time. From our childhoods to teenage years to, early adulthood and beyond. If we don't deal with things that have happened in our past, in a moment of tension or something that comes up now in our present, even as we get older, it does affect us. We do get triggered. There's a cool book, The Body Keeps the Score, which means our bodies actually keep score of everything that has happened to us over the course of time. And in a certain circumstance, it may be triggered and reminded that, hey, wow, this thing happened. I've got to go into some sort of defense mode. Because as we've learned in school, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous systems, when triggered, they trigger the fight or flight system. And so we're all trained to have defense mechanisms inside of us. So as we go in life, we should remember these things. So this is what I wanted to touch on today, was that some of the things that have happened in the past, if we are unable to talk about them and address them, that means we have not actually dealt with them. So many of us are like, oh, but that's in the past, that happened. I've moved forward. Just don't touch that thing because I don't want to talk about it. That means you A, haven't addressed it, B, you actually haven't come to terms with what happened and forgiven yourself and the person. And I know forgiveness is such a touchy subject because we think if we forgive someone, they get away with murder. They get away with all the trauma and all of that stuff that they've inflicted upon us, but that is actually not the truth. Forgiveness has nothing to do with what we have turned it into in this day and age, and I will talk about that another day, but not today. But it is a key, and I know there's going to be a lot of pushback about that, but even in my journey, I have forgiven people for things that have happened in my past, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to be held accountable. It just means I'm free. Like, I get to live my life and enjoy myself. And now as the memories of them come up, it's not as painful. I don't get stopped dead in my tracks. And it's because I went through the journey of forgiveness, of just understanding that situation, what went on. And I went through the tears and the pain, and I've been there. But that's what I mean, like, your body remembers. And so when we're getting triggered, especially in this day and age where so many things are forcing us to react and defend ourselves, like, I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of the time, sometimes people are just not able to understand what we are saying, and then we go and we cancel them because we're like, well, you don't get it, that means that you're against me. And again, that's not the truth. We are just triggered. We just want to know that we're loved. We just want to know that we're accepted. And when somebody fails to do that, it hurts, especially those people who are near and dear to us. And then it reminds us of all of the past trauma that we've experienced. Healing comes when we're able to look at a situation and be like, okay, yes, it's triggering me way more than it should. What is it that actually happened? And then we can see, hey, this is what the situation did to me in the past. This is why I'm responding the way I'm responding. This is a painful situation, and your body is so good at reminding you of the times, all of the times, when you felt that pain. So you can go and you can sit with yourself and you can be like, okay, so why is it that painful? And then you can then address the pain and like comfort yourself and then rewrite the story, rewire yourself and realize that actually this thing that I'm feeling it's in the past. These things that are feeling like a threat now are not actually real threats. I just am feeling threatened because of the past. And then you can separate just the past from the future, because a lot of times so many of us don't deal with the past that we are now affecting the future with the past, whereas we need to be creating new worlds, and we can, and good opportunities present ourselves, but if we didn't heal, we can't actually move forward with that new opportunity in a good way. It's hard and it is painful to deal with our past, but I guarantee you, once you've done it, you get to move forward with a lot more clarity and actually take full control of your life. That is what you do when you take hold of your emotions and you address them. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. It doesn't mean that you're weak. No, it just means that you're actually powerful and brave to address some of these really hard things. If you want to pop in the comments below, what are some of the triggers? I know this is real, that you've been experiencing of late. It doesn't have to be hectic, but it can just be like, oh my gosh, every time that song comes on the radio, I'm triggered. Like, I'd love to know, and I'd love to have a discussion with you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Katana. Have a fabulous week.